Hi, everybody. This is Laura from Healing with Spirit, and I am here today it is July 31st, 2020, and I figured I would give you a end of month energy update as to what has been happening. And I'm curious to know in your world how you have been faring with the month of July. I mean, there's been a lot of things that have been happening and restructuring. And Monday we have a full moon, what they call a full moon, Sturgis moon. And many of the astrologers actually believe that it could signify an end of a major illness. And does that mean coronavirus or whatever? We're not sure. But I'm seeing a lot of reports from various astrologers that that could be a playing theme in the beginning of an actual recovery. And as well as signifying the mastering of language, and what we say in Japanese is kododama, which means that words have spiritual power. So it's going to be very important between now and Monday to make sure that we watch what we say and our thoughts and things like that. So this past month, one of the things I'm going to be going into is things that happened this month. I'm going to share with you 4 tips on how to move forward as we move into August and into the fall. I'm going to share with some of the things that we did in today's Facebook Live with the spiritual medicine for the day and the forecast. Okay, so what we've experienced for the month, I'm very curious to know what your thoughts are. What I saw it as was a month of clearing out of our internal gutters. Okay, what happened astrologically? Well, we had a full moon lunar eclipse between around 4th of July. Mercury went direct on July 12th, and I don't know about you, but it felt like Mercury was really in retrograde after that. Not so much after while it was in retrograde, but a lot of stuff kind of hit the fan when it went direct. And then we had the new moon on July 20th. So what we experienced politically, socially, and even in areas of social justice is that we saw an intensification of protest and even unmarked militarization by the federal government. We saw heated confrontations with greater divide. And what I like to say is when I think of tarot, I think of the tower in tarot, which is the big disruptor. It's the expect the unexpected, the massive change, the upheaval. And if you're not sure what that means, I did a forecast on April 4th, 2020 that you can find on YouTube. And it talks all about the tower card when it comes to the COVID virus. So back to the July, what I've also seen is that whole colonized mindset with the tower, by the way, has a lot of karmic debt and bloodshed on its hands. So this is the system that is crumbling. This month has been intense for all of us, emotionally, energetically, physically, testing our stamina and our endurance all the while. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter what skills we got. It just means that we're all affected. And the difference is that when we do have the skills or the knowledge or the awareness, we are just better equipped to deal with it, right? It's like a captain, steering a ship. Sometimes without a compass, he wouldn't be necessarily steering the ship, no matter how gifted he is, right? As effectively as if he had it with a compass. So this is like your compass kind of guiding you, your GPS system, so to speak. So the things you want to think about are the dark night of the soul, which I'll be doing another video talking just about what that means. What does the dark night of the soul mean? And it means you want to think like your triggers, unresolved trauma. And the unresolved trauma may not necessarily be yours. We're clearing out generational stuff. We're clearing out karmic stuff. We're clearing out past life stuff. There's a lot of aggressions and microaggressions, and then there's also the restructuring and the rewiring. So that's what you want to think about, what we kind of experienced in an abbreviated view for July 2020. Now, I'm going to go into another video that talks about the dark night of the soul, but if you're not sure what that means, it really is about the disintegration, the process of losing that old identity of what we thought our reality should look like and rebuilding anew. And sometimes it could be pretty cataclysmic, which is what I'm feeling a lot of us are experiencing right now. So I'm going to go into another video on that, so stay tuned. And I will be sharing that to go into, so if you want to know more about what the dark night of the soul means, I'm going to be sharing that with you as well. So the restructuring. What does that look like? So this is the old ways, the old belief systems that are not returning. So for those of you who feel like, I want to just go back to normal, well, guess what? It's not possible. It's just not possible. We have to be able to evolve and change with the changing times. So what has been revealed and unveiled cannot be undone. It cannot be unseen, right? So if you're thinking you want to return to normal, they won't, all right? Nothing will. Everything is changing, everything is evolving, and we must too. And there's a lot of opportunity here. So what is that opportunity? The opportunity is around the soul growth. It's honoring the ancestors and the spiritual teachers. It's honoring the sacred. It's identifying what that sacred looks like, okay? A lot of my teachers are in the indigenous realm, but also like the Japanese, and they have like the Shinto, and they view everything, the water, the trees, the grass, everything as sacred. So it's identifying our role in it from the perspective of soul, not the egoic material mind, and following suit. So we are getting a Millenniums Reboot, and that's what's hitting us right now. And it's hitting us right where it counts, right into the family jewels and in the gut. So if you have been feeling pain or angst or maybe unusual pain or feelings of being stuck in those areas or being, of immobility or amplification, maybe you already have some pain, but geez, out of the blue it's been amplified on the existing things, then this could be why. So this is an opportunity to address, heal, and release all those old wounds, those old traumas. Again, whether it's generational, karmic, past life, or personal, it's clearing out all that, all the old stories that may be stuck in the depths of our DNA and in the shadowy subconscious minds. It's the old belief systems that are perpetrated upon us by a collective colonized mindset. We forget the United States was founded on a system of colonization. And I'm not going to go into a whole lesson about what that means, but it really, you want to think in the terms of like slavery, shame, property ownership, how women were property, steal, take, all for greed. So there was no sacred bounds there. So what does this all mean? So this is the summary here. This is overall, what we experienced in July was almost like the climax. It is the overall continuation of the same theme that we have been seeing throughout the whole year of 2020 that began in January. It's the equalization between soul and the ego. It's the duality. It's a work year in numerology. I like to say it's a work year when you're looking at 4 in numerology. So it's the balance between the yin and the yang, the penetrative and the receptive, the ego, the soul. It's addressing all those shadowy aspects of ourselves. And everything that is external in the external world is mirroring and reflecting back what the state of our internal world is. It doesn't mean that we're not going to experience disruption externally, but how are you showing up to that? Are you showing up mastering the calm within that storm and mastering that flow? Or are you kind of going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and you're in this frenzy? Okay, so this is what it's about. So here are some questions to ponder as we move forward. I want you to question, what did you learn in the month of July? What did you learn in 2020 so far? What have we discovered about ourselves? What shadows started emerging that maybe you thought didn't exist? What got birthed? What superpowers got revealed? Were you and are you still finding yourself in that resistance mode, or are you feeling blocked still? Are you experiencing obstacles and frustration on those levels? Because if you are, that might be also a pause. And just allow things, we've got 3 bodies here, the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, and the spiritual body. So we got to get them all into vibrational alignment for things to flow effectively. So if there is a blockage somewhere, you got to let the others kind of get into alignment before it clears out. So how do we move forward into the last quarter? We've got 1 more month before we move into the next quarter. So the month of August is a good time to kind of get yourself prepped. So here's 4 tips I want you to think about to help guide you moving forward. 1, we are continuing to clear away all the debris that's in our internal gutters. The old structures are going to continue to still crumble. That stuff in the shadows will continue to rise. So it's important for us to face and deal with all that junk that's in the shadows. We got to be able to feel, we got to be able to heal, and we got to be able to let go. I do have a couple classes coming up beginning in September. Today I Bless My Junk, which is going to be a one-day class virtually, which is going to help you address those things in the shadows and how do you turn those things that maybe we're ashamed of or that we feel afraid to face, and how do we turn them into superpowers and places of empowerment. We also got the self-care for the empath virtual and during times of crisis, and it's different than probably what you're used to online. It's an 8-week, very thorough, high content, a lot of content. It's 8 weeks. It's a virtual classroom with videos and information on step-by-step on how to deal with this stuff. We address things in the life, to the thinking, to spiritual, to mindfulness, to our foods, our sleep, our diet, traumas, to healing modalities that might be able to help and how to use them, how to use spiritual-based practices, how do we address the space weather. All these different things all affect us. So it's continuing to address the shadows. And so that's important. That's number one. Number two, so if you're interested in those, by the way, send me a note, send me an email, or follow me on my website, contact me there, which is www.laurahealingwithspirit.com, and get on the email list so you can get dibs on when those are announced, those classes. So the second tip is it's important to learn how to navigate and master the flow, which actually happened to be the card we closed out with today, which was this card here. If I can get it easily and effectively. So this is the card we closed out with today, which is the flow card, okay? And we're going to go into that in a little bit, but this is about how do we master the flow, not control the flow. If things are going upstream, we can't keep fighting the upstream. We got to learn how to paddle and how to maybe avoid the rocks, but not trying to control the direction. We're in an alignment with the rivers and the oceans. We're still rebooting. So we're like the infant learning how to walk again, but more from a soul perspective. So learning how to master the flow is going to be very important. The third tip is stay grounded and center yourself. A lot of things that we've been doing in the Facebook Lives and the Facebook group is that we have been checking our energy. Where is our energy on a scale of 1 to 10 when we get up in the morning? On a 1 being low vibration, 10 being high vibration, low vibration being like anger, worry, fear, grief, those type of things, sadness. 10 being joy and gratitude. Okay, where is your energy? And then where's your balance? So is your balance, is that weight where the balance is? Is it towards the front, towards the back? Is it towards the left, towards the right? Is it to the top? Are you top heavy? Are you bottom heavy? Are you centered? Where is that weight? So this is some of the things that we've been going in to help us identify. So if you've missed those, make sure you join our Facebook Lives every Monday, Wednesday, Friday to catch up on those. And so this is an opportunity to stay grounded and to center yourself. This is what we're in, getting into alignment with the rhythms of our Great Mother. There is a thing, and this is science. It's called the Schumann's resonance. Vibrates. This is the frequency that vibrates all life on this planet. Everything. The waters, the birds, how they migrate, to how our circadian rhythms work with our sleeping patterns. It's all integrated. So this is a call for us to help connect in that way. And so maybe Shinrin Yoku, which is forest bathing, connecting with the plants, the trees, the earth, the water, and all those elements to stay grounded and centered is going to be really crucial as we navigate through the next several months. The fourth tip, and some of you may be like, I can't do that, I don't have time, but it's up your nap time, up your self-care remedies, and allow yourself to reboot. Most of the healing that happens when we're actually asleep. So it happens when we are in a rest state. This is an opportunity to regenerate your mind, to regenerate our bodies, to replenish ourselves. So it's okay if you're feeling the need. Give yourself that opportunity. Instead of feeling triggered and wanting to act out on it, take a step back and honor that pause and honor that need to rest and reboot. So those are 4 tips. Now, what we did today on our Facebook Live is we talked about the numerology, which is a 15 and a 6. So what does that mean? And of course, we're at the last day of the month, so this is where I kind of get this information that kind of piles together, right? So with the numerology, this is talking about our karmic cleanup. It's cleaning up all that stuff that's in the gutters. It's family stuff on the forefront, relational things. You know, it's cleaning up our own backyard before we can help somebody else. It's relational, especially with ourselves, with our soul. How connected are you with the spirit that is within? Are you building that relationship? Because that's part of what the message is for the whole 2020 forecast anyways, building that relationship. So, and then when we add the flow card with it, which is the card that we pulled today, you want to think of the natural rhythms, the changing tides, the ebbs and flows of the oceans and the rivers that kind of rise and fall, right? The waterfalls and the changing tides. And it represents the effortlessness and the natural movement towards a certain direction or destination. What does it signify? This signifies the ability to move gracefully around obstacles. It reminds us the sense of allowing. This is not a avoidance tactic. This is about when you're in the flow, you're not, you're not going upstream trying to avoid what's downstream. You are seeing the rock and the water just either go around it, or if it needs to be, the water moves the obstacle, right? So it's the ability to do it gracefully. So this is where I mentioned mastering that calm within the storm, knowing how to use those paddles, those oars, and how do we navigate through those flows. And we're made up of mostly water. How are we honoring the emotions, right? Here's the invitation. This is the invitation that we're being called. The invitation is our intention. So if you've been doing this work and you're going, I can't do this anymore, I'm exhausted. Well, let me get you. That's the dark night of the soul. So I'm going to do a separate video because there's a lot of content there that I wrote that warrants a separate video. So we're going to go into some of that. But if you've been consciously working towards this stuff, then the intentions have already been set in motion, right? So, and we've been given the clearing, the opportunity to clear out centuries, maybe up to 1,000 years, if not more, of karmic debt. So this is what comes to mind are all the teachings of Abraham Hicks. If you're not familiar, you can go YouTube and Google, okay? Best friends there. And Abraham Hicks talks a lot about being in the vortex and what you put into the vortex, right? And being in vibrational alignment. So this is the opportunity to put those practices into use. It's about letting nature run its course. Same thing with the virus, right? It's letting nature run its course. It's about the effortlessness of the movement and the path of least resistance. Again, sound familiar if you've been following Abraham Hicks and their teachings? This is what it's talking about. This does not mean avoid, which in avoiding it is spiritually bypassing, right? It's like you're saying one thing, but you're actually doing something else, Or I'm going to go numb myself, right? And I'm going to have a glass of wine because I just want to avoid. I just don't want to deal. It's just too much. That's spiritual bypassing, right? So this means when we flow, we're flowing in partnership. We're not telling the water how to flow. We're allowing the water to flow, and we're just avoiding the obstacles, the rocks, the things that might hurt us, right? So this is an opportunity to be like water and to enjoy that ride. The medicine. Do not push up against the river or the oceans or try to swim upstream. This is the opportunity to trust. When the time is right, you will seek. It will take time to seek that, and everything will shape in its divine time. And then you will be invited to dance with the flows of life, with destiny, with your soul, all in partnership, all in alignment, all in its natural flow. You're not trying to dictate, saying, but I want to go over here, but the rapids are going this way, right? And this is the opportunity to relax, knowing that this is not the time to be banging on doors that refuse to open. This is the opportunity to flow instead. And if you've been experiencing mega blocks or experiencing major obstacles, then whatever is in front of you, you just need to trust that everything is as it's supposed to be for your highest and best, right? This is the opportunity to regroup and reconsider maybe some choices. and to trust that the intentions will take form of what you're putting out there in good time. So consider this time right now a gift. I know it might be hard for you, for some of you to comprehend this as a gift. Just like COVID may have been a gift because we needed this disruption to stop the poisons that probably could kill and make humanity all extinct. So this is the opportunity to reinvent ourselves. This is the visual I'm seeing for you. It's the floating, right? We have these big, inflatable tubes. We would just float down the water. We sometimes pay companies a lot of money to just float down the water. We don't go upstream, but we go downstream. The only ones that go upstream are the herring, the herring, and that comes to mind, like the herring and the salmon, and they go upstream to spawn. But this is not the time to spawn. Spawning was in the spring. This is not the time to spawn. All right? So this is what is happening right here, right now. And I'd be curious to see how this resonates with you. So please post in the comments, or please post a comment if this is on the website. Post your information. Let me know how this resonates with you. And if you're interested in the upcoming classes that I mentioned, or the links to these groups that I'm going to be mentioning, these events, and the website, the Facebook groups, I'm going to have those in the links as well. So I hope you enjoy. I hope that you take a breath and pause and add the extra self-care. Be mindful of all the media and hype, and I would say withdraw a little bit. This is the opportunity not to get distracted, but to go within and allow the soul to communicate with you, to get out of here and into the body, and allow that to be your wisdom keeper and guidance tool moving forward, because that knows better than you, and it knows better than the media and everybody else that's in play. That's your wisdom. That's what your soul came here to learn. And I leave you with the blessings, and I look forward to seeing you again, if not on Facebook, with the Facebook Lives. Have a great day. As we say in Japanese, arigato gozaimashita.